head coach of the Tigers, Brent Vernon. Coach, this is a big one. Congratulations.
Thanks,
I know
Matt.
Senior Day is always important, but we've talked a lot about it. Getting to 7-7 in conference play, a big deal. Here you are, 5 of your last 6 inside the conference, and a good time to score a season-high 91 inside of the conference schedule.
It was. I want to say, obviously, we really didn't play real well. I thought at times we played hard and we made shots in opportune times, but we really weren't that good today. And I told our guys it can be ugly. This is one of those you more or less, especially this late in the year, we'll look at to see what we got fixed, but there's a lot from tonight. You almost got to throw this one out and just move on to the next one because we're not going to probably see Shawnee again unless it's in tournament time, and you never know what happens there. We could easily see him again. It's just one of those that it's not upcoming. So our guys maintained. There was things that, as a coach, tonight it was all the little things. We didn't block out well, didn't really take care of the ball real well. There was a lot of things we just need to do better as the season gets closer to the end. And I'm just happy we came away with a win tonight because it was big.
Sometimes it's nice to have the fail-safe. Tonight it was Andrew Smith, 26 points, 12 rebounds, 10 of 16 from the field. He was almost automatic when he got the basketball. 3 of his misses came from deep. 7 assists, that's a new career high. 4 blocks to become the all-time leading shot blocker. It's good to have that number to call, and you called it a lot here this evening.
We did, but the way Shawnee guards, you can't. We normally run a lot of sets for Drew. We only ran about 3 or 4 sets all game. They press you, they try to slow you down, then they really guard you, so you're not running sets. And we got away from getting him the ball the first half. He only had 8 points, and so he came in the second half with 18 and was very efficient. And we got to the point where it was almost mandated. He's got to get a touch. That's what I kept saying. He's got to get a touch because we have to make them determine how they're going to guard us. And we started getting him touches, and he does what we know he can do. He found the open man. He continued to rebound. He made some big shots, made some threes. He hasn't made as many threes probably as he had made last year, but he stepped up in a very big way on senior night to give us a very big win.
Stephon Adams finished the first half 1 of 7. He closes the game, hitting 6 of his last 10 shots. He got hot in a hurry, knocked down 4 second-half three-point field goals, and he continues this offensive stretch that he's on where, he's having these monster games to help lead you guys.
He does, and he's just very good. He's a talented player, talented offensive player. We talked about it last week. He takes some shots that makes you just want to scream sometimes, but at the same time, whenever – 7 of 17 is not great. 5 of 10 from 3 is pretty good. You look at his stat line, though, 22, 7, 4, and then 6 steals. Good players at times, you've got to really let them go. And Zob, he's sort of earned that right during his time here. And another senior on senior night stepping up in a very big way.
Hagan Tyler finishes with 16 tonight, Coach. 0 for 7 from deep. Obviously not his best shooting night, but his ability that we've seen, and I think maybe this is an appropriate time as any to talk about it, the way he has evolved as a player, and I know we've touched on it in the past from time to time, I think you saw it on full display tonight at times because the long ball wasn't falling, but right. He's getting an offensive rebound or two, finding a way to get a putback, taking a mid-range fall away, step-back jumper type of thing, just doing the other things that he can in his game to help his team.
If this had been a game shooting 0 of 7, freshman, sophomore, junior year, he would have ended the game with 4 or 5 points. 0 of 7, then he goes 6 of 7, though, from 2 today. And like you said, he hung around the rim. He got to the rim. He got to the foul line some. He did a very good job. Shots didn't fall. Took a hard fall in the first half. Got a really big, elbow is swollen. He'll be okay. It's just one of those things where it puffs up. And I think it probably affected his shot a little bit, just being able to extend all the way. But I'm proud of him because, like we've always said, and we've talked about it now with Drew and Zob in the last 2, you've talked about players, a senior stepping up in a big time in a big way.
Well, let's make it 4 for 4 here. It's Dion Evans also with a big night out of the starting lineup there, Coach. He got a couple of big buckets early. Looked like he was going to have one of those nights. Then he gets into some foul trouble. I know you've talked about it in the past. Dion's one of those guys that you need him going well and can sometimes be his own biggest enemy.
Yes. In
the second half, though, he weathered that storm, came back. He knocked down some threes, had a big dunk, and, again, Mr. Energy.
He is. That's the best way. Mr. Energy. He is the consummate teammate. He doesn't matter. He picked up the 2 fouls and it frustrated us, but the whole half, the only thing he did was stand on the bench and talk his teammates through things, continue to encourage, and just try to help them out any way he could. And that's what a great teammate does. And I'm just a firm believer of when things like that happen, people get rewarded. He had a good first half, but the second half he jumps up and makes 2 threes. He gets the dunk, and I think that's the sign of being a very, very good teammate, and our guys loving him and trusting him in those situations. And that's something that last year he was a great teammate, but things didn't always go his way. And, I couldn't really – everybody during senior day, I couldn't really say much to them at half court when they came out. The only thing I could say is I'm proud of you and I love you, because it was just very emotional for me. And I got more emotional probably with Dion than anybody, because he's weathered a whole lot of stuff in his 2 years here, and he's done a great job, and I'm just so proud of him.
And we're trying to get Dion to that the Dark Horse Dunker competition, so we'll throw it out again, darkhorsedunker.com. Go vote for Dion and help him along the way there. And then, Coach, I'll touch on it briefly. Sam Whining played some big minutes for you. Dion got into the foul trouble. You went with a smaller lineup at times, and I thought Sam, 18 minutes in total for the game. He gave you some really good time tonight.
Sam did a good job. At Shawnee, Sam played 27 minutes. That was the game after Jake broke his wrist. Ronald came back and was only about 70%. I think we might have been a little bit of foul trouble there, and he did a great job. I mean, a great job down there. I thought just battling, and it did the same thing today. Played a lot of minutes in the first half, not as being the second because Dion wasn't in foul trouble and playing so well, but that's been sort of Sam's role this year for us. And, sometimes it's hard on guys because they want to play more, but Sam's accepted that role, and he really did a lot of good things today. You always know when Sam's out there, he's going to play so hard and try to do everything right. He may take a quick shot here or there, but the best part is when he does it, he knows, all right, that's not really my role yet. That's something I've got to work on to get better at, because he's all about the team. He comes to work every day, practices hard, and does everything we could ask for him.
Entering play here tonight, Coach, the way this thing could have gone, I think you guys could have finished maybe as low as 7th in the conference, maybe as high as 2nd coming into that last weekend. That's kind of an uneasy feeling, but at least it tells you that you're in the thick of things. Right. And now you go to play Pikeville on Saturday. Pikeville in a close one there with Georgetown. Depending on how that shakes out, 2nd place, maybe a share of 2nd place in the conference after a 2-5 start.
Right, and there's so many scenarios right now. You really even can't go through it. If Georgetown were to hold on, obviously it's a very close game with a few minutes left. We will be 1 game behind Pikeville, and if we go and win at Pikeville, it'll put us in a share of 2nd place. We could still end up being the 5 seed, I think.
Yeah.
I really, it's too in detailed, and that's the least of my worries. I just want our team to continue to play well. I've told them from the beginning of the start of the 2nd part of conference,